So, what is the best way to prepare for the IELTS test for both academic and general modules? Welcome back, guys. This is a video in which I'm going to explain what is the best possible way that you should prepare for the IELTS test, the complete test, listening, reading, writing, and speaking included. I'm going to go over each section one by one and then I'll explain what is the best way you should prepare for each of them. Now guys, throughout this video, keep this in mind that whatever your target is, whatever you're aiming for, it is all possible to achieve provided that you prepare properly. Remember that all the tips and tricks that are available on YouTube, online, or whatever you get from your friends, those only work if you have a good base to start from. So it all starts with a good base, and this video is going to focus on how exactly you can develop that base to bring the best possible outcome from your test. Remember guys, like all my other videos, this video is not for the people who want to take the easy way out. This is for the people who are going to spend their time and effort into preparation for the IELTS test. The video is going to show you section by section on how you should prepare properly for each of these sections of the test. So it doesn't matter what's going to show up in the actual exam, you are going to score well. But again, this is not for the people who want to take the easy way out. This is for the people who are actually going to work for it. So bear with me while I explain section by section on how you can prepare in the best possible way for the IELTS test. Now guys, regardless of which test you're going for, you're going to face 4 different modules in your exam, which are listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So let me start with the very first module that you're going to face in your exam, which is called listening. So guys, what actually happens in listening is a recording would be played, and that could be a recording of a lecture, that could be a recording of a classroom, that could be a recording of a group conversation. So a recording is going to play in which you're going to listen to conversations, and based on those conversations, you'll have to find the answers for the questions given to you in the test. At the end of the day guys, your listening test is simply a measure of your understanding capability. What that means is how much you understand what is being said to you. To put it in simple terms guys, if you cannot understand what is being said to you in those recordings, then it's nearly impossible that you will be able to find the right answers to those questions. So the one and the only guaranteed way that you're going to score well in your listening test is to develop your understanding capability. What you have to do is you have to train your brain to understand different speeches, different accents, different pronunciation types. So you have to get your brain used to those things if you want to understand completely what is going on in the recordings. Now I have made a special video on how you can improve your understanding capability. Click on the top right corner on the I button and you can find that video. So at the end of the day, improve your understanding capability, and that's how you will get guaranteed good scores in the listening test. Now another thing that I would like to attend is when students ask me if they should practice more and more listening tests. Guys, if you are taking a listening test, whether that's via YouTube or that's via any other material, you are simply testing what level you are standing at. That is not actually improving your score, it is just telling you at which level you stand at. So again, if you are able to improve your understanding capability, your scores will automatically go up because now you can understand what is being said to you. Now in terms of materials guys, YouTube is a great source to find the IELTS listening test, and there's one website that I recommend to my students too, that's IELTSfever.com, if you want to find the listening as well as reading test over there. So they have got plenty of good stuff. So these are the 2 sources I would recommend to find the listening test, but again, improve your understanding capability. That is where it all starts and that is where it all ends. Simple as that. Now moving on to the second part, which is the reading test. What happens in this is guys, you're gonna get passages. You'll have 1 complete hour to do the whole test. You'll have different passages and then questions following those passages. Now how well you can score in the reading test, that is ultimately gonna come down to how well versed you are with the English literature. So in simple words, how fast and accurate you are in terms of picking up the written literature. And that of course includes your grammar, your sentence formation, your vocabulary, and so much more other basic English language things. So looking at the same thing from a different direction, If you can easily pick up what is written in those passages, then you should not have a hard time figuring out the answers to those questions. So, the only way you can improve your scores in reading is by actually reading on a daily basis. Remember that your target is not to do more and more tests. The test will simply justify what level you are standing at. If you really want to improve your scores in reading, then you have to develop your understanding capability in terms of the written text in this case. So, the better you get at in terms of picking up what is written in those passages, the easier it will be for you to find the answers. It's really as simple as that, guys. So, develop the habit of reading on a daily basis. What I recommend to my students is pick a book or a novel of your interest and read at least half an hour every single day. Remember, guys, doing it every single day is what is going to make the difference. If you do it today and it's not done for the rest of the month, then it's just as good as not doing it at all. So, the key to cracking reading is developing the habit of reading daily. And again, taking the test will only justify what level you are standing at, but if you want to improve it, then this is the way to go. Also, there is a special video on the channel which explains how you should prepare for the IELTS reading test. I'll put a link to that over in this video as well. So if you are interested, go and watch that video too. So to improve your reading, simply read regularly. Now, moving on to the next section, which is writing. In case of writing, guys, you'll have two different tasks. It depends on what exam you're taking, whether it's academic or general, but you'll have two different tasks. Now, the ultimate outcome of how well you're going to score in the writing test will depend on how well you can represent your level of language. Or, in other words, how good you are in terms of representing your thoughts into words. So, to put it in simple words, if you can represent whatever you're thinking about in a good manner using a good range of grammar, a good amount of vocab, a good amount of sentence formation, then you can score well in writing. It is simply a case of putting your thoughts into words in a manner so that the content seems appealing, so that it looks like it's something worth reading. That's eventually what it all comes down to, guys. Now, one of the best ways, which is in my experience the best way to prepare for the writing test, is you find a good source of information. Like this is one of the sources that I recommend to my students, IELTSexam.net. They've got a ton of quality content in terms of writing. So go onto this website, find writing task 1, writing task 2, whatever you're looking to improve. Go on, read a few samples. So you have a fair idea of what is it that you need to do. Now, after you have some idea of how you should give your answer, then pick out another topic that you haven't read and this time write your answer first. So now you have your answer for that topic and now you can also look at their answer for the topic. Now I want you to compare those two answers and see what you are missing. Again, simply reading the sample essays or sample writing task 1 is not going to do the job, guys. You have to write the topics yourself and then you have to compare them with the correct answers. So now you know exactly what level you're standing at. Also, I have made special videos on how you can attempt the writing task 1 and writing task 2. So if you're looking into more details, if you're looking into what structure you can follow, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, so have a look at those videos on the channel. Click on the top right corner on the I button and I'll put a link to those videos as well. But at the end of the day, learn to represent your level of language in a good manner. And that is what is going to make the difference in writing as well as speaking. So, in case of writing, how well you represent your thoughts into words, and in case of speaking, how well you represent your thoughts into speech. That is what is going to ultimately determine the outcome of your writing and speaking exam, guys. Again, most of the students will have the same answers. Most of them will have the same points for the writing task 1, task 2, as well as the cue cards in your speaking exam. So it is not just what you are speaking or writing, it is also how you are speaking or writing it. Again, guys, keep in mind that representation is the key to cracking these two, writing and speaking. Now, moving on to the last part. So the speaking test is basically a one-on-one interview with the examiner where the examiner is going to ask questions and you'll have to answer those questions in a proper way if you want to attain a good score. Now, the range of questions that they can choose from, that is, what kind of questions that they ask, is really something that nobody knows. So quite frankly, the topics could come from anywhere and could be related to anything. So this is why it is very important that you prepare for the speaking test properly. And the same thing goes for writing. Again, the topics can come from anywhere and be related to anything. So the ultimate outcome of your speaking test, this is again gonna depend on how well you represent your thoughts into speech. Now, one of the important things that you guys should keep in mind is that listening, reading, writing, and speaking, these are not four different things. These are all basically connected to the one common thing, that's English language. And the level of language you possess is ultimately going to determine how well you score in any of these four modules. So, what I'm trying to say is, guys, is that your speaking will also be impacted by how well you can do in listening, reading, as well as writing. Think of it in this way: it is the same brain that is generating ideas for the writing section and the same brain that is generating ideas for the speaking section. So, whatever level of language you are using in your writing task 1 and task 2, that is really the proof that that's the same level of language you can also utilize in the speaking section. However, the difference comes in the time, because in case of the writing test you'll have some time to think about your answers. However, in case of speaking you'll have to give your answers straight away. Well, in Q card you'll have 1 minute to prepare, but then again that is not sufficient time to write a complete task 2. So you have to learn to formulate the thoughts in your brain into the words that are coming out of your mouth, but in a fluent, in a speedy manner. So the answer has to be very quick, you have to be very responsive. Now, like I mentioned earlier, guys, that the speaking is related to listening, reading, and writing in different terms. So, the more you listen to English, the more you read English, the more you write English, the better you are gonna get at speaking. Simple as that. So, the more input you are giving to your brain in terms of English, the more output you can expect from it. Now, that being said, guys, that is all well and good in terms of creating content when you're preparing for listening, reading, and writing. But the ultimate results in speaking are going to come from practicing to speak in English. So, regardless of how much time and effort you're putting into listening, reading, and writing, if you do not eventually practice to speak in English, then there is no possible way that you're going to score well in this module. So listen to English, read and write English, but ultimately practice to speak. So find somebody who has at least the same level as you, if not better, and that would be the best person to practice speaking with. So do it on a regular basis and you will develop the fluency you will need to crack your exam. Also, I have made a video especially on how you can prepare for Q cards. I'll also put a link to that somewhere over here. So if you want to learn the best possible way to prepare for Q cards, go and watch that video and you'll have a fair idea of what to do. Would you like to score well in your IELTS or PT test like these students? Discover the tips, strategies, and insider secrets to crack your exam from the comfort of your own home with the minimum effort, time, and hassle. Join our one-on-one classes with flexible and convenient timings, and you can also achieve what these students have. With a 95% success rate as our track record, we also offer a 100% money back guarantee if you don't pass your test. Our one-on-one classes provide to the point, no BS solutions to all your problems and expert advice tailored specifically for your needs. Compared to preparing on your own, where you have to spend hours finding, learning, and practicing for the test, not to mention that the outcome is still unpredictable and all the preparation you do may lead to only a complete waste of time, effort, and money, choose the right track from the beginning and contact the email address on screen for guaranteed results. Start your classes with us today so we can put you on the right path to success. Like mentioned earlier, we offer a 100% money back guarantee if you don't pass your test, provided that you follow the teacher's advice and attend classes regularly. Remember, we want you to succeed. That's the whole point of why we do what we do. So, if you are serious about cracking your exam, contact us right now to book your personalized timings and let us guide you on exactly what to expect and how to prepare for the best outcome in your exam. So guys, this is it for this video. Comment below and let me know what you learned from the video, and if you learned something, like and share it for the benefit of others. Guys, it only takes a few clicks and this stuff might be able to help somebody achieve their target like you are aiming for. So help me help others, like and share the videos. This is it for today, and I'll see you next time.